Hello and welcome to the History of Stargate universe. Today's episode we're going to be covering Amanda Perry, and here we go. Amanda Perry was a brilliant scientist from Earth in her 30s, who was part of a team developing the next generation of hyperdrives. She was rendered quadriplegic as a result of an accident when she was 9. In 2009, one of the ancient spaceship's Destiny's faster-than-light engines was destroyed and would not successfully traverse the void between two galaxies. She was highly recommended by Dr. Nicholas Rush, who described her as the most qualified person for the task. In order to do this, she used a long-range communication device to switch bodies. Lieutenant Vanessa James volunteered to swap bodies, but quickly changed her mind after the transfer. Perry then switched with Camille Ray. This also allowed Perry to walk for the first time in her adult life. Perry helped repair Destiny's FTL drive after the Nakai sabotaged it and reconnected with Rush, whom she had feelings for. During the Nakai attack in the void, Perry manned the consoles in the control interface room and worked the weapons along with Eli Wallace. Dr. Adam Brody and Dr. Dale Volker defended the ship as long as possible, though Colonel Everett Young told her to leave if things got too bad. Eventually, Destiny returned to FTL and Perry returned to her own body, but not before kissing Rush again and offering to return if her help was ever needed again. She returned to Destiny after Dr. Nicholas Rush requested her help when he and Colonel Everett Young were trapped on an Ursini ship. She switched bodies with the Lucian Alliance member, Gin, who had been allowed to stay on the ship after the Alliance members were expunged following their incursion. Rush directed her to Destiny's bridge, where she was able to turn the ship around and rescue Young and himself. Shortly after, the crew discovered the bridge and were able to get the two back on board. Once aboard, she and Rush shared a kiss, but were interrupted by Eli Wallace, who, while whisking Rush away, cautioned Perry against doing so in Gin's body. After Eli leaves, the unsupervised Simeon enters the room Perry/Gin is in and shuts the door. He then kills the body that Amanda was in. Lieutenant Vanessa James uses the long-range communication device to check on what had happened on Earth after the body was discovered, and confirms that her body had died with her consciousness. Her death enraged Rush, who hunted down and killed Simeon himself. 2010. Amanda's consciousness resurfaced in 2010 in the body of Chloe Armstrong when Chloe was connected to the long-range communication stones. Her consciousness had survived in the stones, and she surfaced along with Gin, but she was the weakest of the three minds in Chloe's body, and surfaced the least and the shortest. Dr. Nicholas Rush came up with a plan to download her into Destiny's mainframe in the hopes of saving her so she could be downloaded into another body in the future. Perry was ecstatic at the thought, and the download was successful, but caused a power surge that knocked out the database and Lieutenant Tamara Johannesson's instruments in the infirmary while she was doing a kidney transplant. TJ's instruments returned, but the database didn't, so Perry acted as part of the ship. She appeared to TJ and used her connection to the database to guide TJ through the surgery before disappearing. She later appeared to Rush on the bridge and revealed that she was happy to be where she was. As a program in the ship's computer, she was able to learn at a far faster rate than before. She was able to interact with Dr. Nicholas Rush on a social level. Perry eventually devised a way for Rush to load his consciousness into the virtual construct within the ship's database via the Destiny interface chair. His consciousness, approximately 900 terabytes of raw data, was uploaded, giving them time together. Having failed to set up the program correctly, she trapped him in the program by accident. She attempted to fix the error but was unable to do so. Upset, she eventually explained the truth to Rush. She'd programmed it with the belief that they had both loved each other, and Rush, though he claimed otherwise, apparently didn't really love her. Fortunately, Eli Wallace was able to quarantine the program that contained both Perry and Gin, freeing Rush. Unfortunately, doing so meant that the both of them were isolated and could not be interacted with.